task beneath a pentagon symbol. A blue control box marks the left door, and a red control box marks the right. As the protagonist works on the left door's keypad, Neil glances over.
That actually is.
Neil presses a button for him. They each open their door. With a look of trepidation, the protagonist steps into a room and finds a double-paned window to his right, with a trail of still smoking bullet holes in the glass. He notices a gun lying in pieces on the floor. In a room on the other side of the glass, Neil reaches toward one of the bullet holes.
Don't touch them!
Hell happened here?
Wisps of smoke drift around the holes.
It hasn't happened yet.
The cracks in the glass spread, and the protagonist picks up a piece of the gun containing the grip. On each side of the glass, a door on a cylindrical chamber simultaneously slides shut, appearing as mirror images. The doors reopen, and a man in tactical gear emerges from each, the one on the protagonist's side moving backwards and the other forwards. The man on this side attacks the protagonist as the other shoves past Neil. As the protagonist and his attacker wrestle for the gun grip, the sliding magazine lies off the ground and reassembles. The attacker grabs the gun. Locked in struggle, they slide along the glass, and the bullet holes disappear as the ammo is thrown back into the gun. Meanwhile, Neil sprints down the corridor. As they continue to struggle, the protagonist stabs his lockpicking tool into his attacker's arm. The attacker holds tight to the gun as the protagonist forces him into the corridor and punches his wrist. With the protagonist now holding the gun, the attacker presses his foot to his arm, forcing him to drop the weapon. The protagonist sweeps out his legs. Appearing to move in reverse, the attacker flips over the protagonist, grabbing him in a chokehold. The protagonist kicks his legs up on a wall and frees himself from his attacker's grip. Moving rapidly, they block each other's blows before the attacker lands a hard punch to the protagonist's face. As the protagonist forces him backwards down the corridor, the attacker drops onto his back near the gun. Suddenly, the protagonist reels backwards and the attacker slides toward him, rolling onto his feet and into the protagonist's kick. Meanwhile, Neil manages to pull the helmet off the other man in tactical gear. He stares at the man, obscured behind a wall, before taking off. Outside a vault, the attacker, moving in reverse, does a flip, his feet kicking onto the wall, but the protagonist maintains his hold on him. As the attacker holds onto him from behind, the protagonist reaches for the gun, then kicks it into the vault. They stagger in after it, and the protagonist smoothly rolls on the floor and reaches for the gun, but the attacker hauls him back by his waist. The attacker appears to push the protagonist straight up from the ground to a display wall. As they scuffle, the gun skitters across the floor. They both try to kick out the other's feet, then the protagonist shoves the attacker into grid walls and scoring paintings. Toppling them, leaning over the attacker, the protagonist seizes the gun. The protagonist points the gun at his attacker.
Why are you here? Who are you? Get over here!
Outside, one of the crashed plane's engines swings back and forth. In the vault, the attacker slides in reverse out the security gate. From the tarmac, Mahir and his partner watch the engine explode. Inside the vault,
I need to go.
on the tarmac, Mahir and his partner head off. In the freeport, Neil picks the lock of his assigned vault.
What happened to the other guy?
Took care of him.
The door opens. By security, the employee beckons EMTs.
Come in!